Greetings, YouTube, sneakertube.tv, Twitter, Facebook, sneakerplay.com. It's your man Air Jordan 14 back with a new video, new performance video. It's going to be a little quicker, slightly a different sneaker of sorts. So kind of let's get into it. All right, doing today, and I'll turn it down so I can be out of the way. Is the Jordan Pregame XT, or as Jordan Brand has kind of dubbed this shoe, a training hoop shoe, and kind of decided to get it. Hearing that, understanding that you can do other things, obviously train in it, but if it's calling itself a hoop shoe, did it live up to that expectation? So, you know how I do. I always start with the inner of the shoe because, as I say, it doesn't matter about the fit, comfort, support, traction, all of that. If the shoe is simply uncomfortable to wear, none of that really matters. So, all right, let's take a look here. As you can see, you've got a kind of a red vein of threading here up around the top of the sock liner, and then of course your black interior, which is actually rather smooth and free of any real raised stitching. But let me say this: I don't know if you can see that the tongue is integrated as part of the inner here. So as you can see, it's not separate. It's integrated into this mesh here on the upper. Now on that, of course, as you can see, there's some seams here, but they're done in such a way where it doesn't cause any discomfort in terms of wearing the shoe. So from the inner standpoint, I didn't experience any discomfort or anything in terms of the shoe. It was a joy to wear. I kind of have to kind of get into the makeup here. Well, I do that when I do the fit. Let me just keep it how I usually do it. Now, starting down to the bottom, as you can see here, you've got a shoe. It's called a free-inspired midsole. I saw it when I did my research here. As you can see, it's got a lot of lateral flex grooves here. You got a lot of cutout that really allows for a lot of flexibility in the shoe, and is designed to give you a very natural feel underfoot, which I can say for the most part was accomplished without any real clunkiness, as well as that also cuts down on your weight, with this being a very light shoe. It's only about 12.6 ounces, and this is a size 11. So it's a very lightweight shoe. But from a traction standpoint, as you can see there, you've got some areas of herringbone here, as well as around the top and a little bit on the side, and a little bit here on the back in critical areas. I found the traction of the shoe to be pretty good. I don't know if you can see it, but there's obviously some dust stuck to the bottom here. I was playing on some courts that were less than pristine, and it wasn't like glue-like traction, but still very, very good. And didn't experience any slipping, while cutting or playing defense or anything like that. And the removal of some material definitely felt nice. Now, moving along the upper here to the midsole, and as you can see, you've got a sculpted Phylon midsole around here. And now, and if somebody knows, I looked, and I assumed there was some sort of air of some sort in here. I could not get confirmation of that in many of the places I looked. But since I'm not sure, I'm not going to speak on it. I'm just going to merely speak on what I know, and that is the Phylon midsole here. and it does a pretty good job in terms of soaking up your impact forces and things of that nature. It never really bottomed out or anything, and I didn't have any problem with it. Phylon is a fairly resilient material, although you may lose out on some of the cushioning feel of maybe a Zoom shoe or something like that. Um, it does a good job of doing that, so it's pretty good in that respect. I will say, if anyone knows actually if it's got any Zoom, please, in the comment box, because I want to try to be as accurate and detailed in these reviews as I can. So, um, moving on, I will say this: prolonged playing sometimes in Phylon-based shoes, it may bottom out, but playing these extensively over the last few weeks, I didn't have any problems, so they should hold up for a while there. Let's move along to the upper, and I have to be honest, initially when I got this shoe, this was an area of concern, because I don't know if you can kind of see how thin and flexible this shoe is. It's got an internal heel counter there, which was the only hard point I could feel. So I was worried about, from an upper standpoint, the lateral stability, and combined with, as you can see, the large amount of mesh here across the tongue here, I was concerned about the fit and would it be able to lock my foot down. From a heel standpoint, the heel counter did its job in terms of holding my heel in place, and I didn't experience any movement back here, neither up or down or side to side. The rest of the shoe, in terms of the fit here around the upper, was good. Now, normally I tie, of course, when you play, you should lace your shoes up fairly tight. I noticed with these, I had to lace them up even tighter, almost to the point, if you can see these lace holders here, almost to the point where they were touching, which was, kind of a different thing for me in terms of that. So if you do decide to use these as more than a training shoe, be mindful of that. Particularly if you do not have wide feet, you will have to tie these very tightly in order to get maximal fit, even more so than with other shoes. And, it's because of the mesh, while giving you a lot of breathability, you do lose somewhat in the area of fit. So that was kind of why. And the one time I didn't, I experienced a lot. And it was only in one shoe. It was actually in this one. A lot of front to back movement in the forefoot, in the forefoot area. So much so to the point my big toe was actually hurting. From by the time I got through wearing it. But I think it probably would have been better served from maybe having some leather or some other material, or perhaps even more of a gilly lacing system rather than, or modified rather than this right here. But other than that, the fit was fairly decent. It was better than what I expected initially. So I touched on the support aspect of it. The traction was good. It's not a very heavy shoe. So I guess in wrapping up, the Jordan Pregame XT is a shoe that is meant primarily, it is the world's, as they say, the first hoops training shoe. It's an adequate shoe. I can't say that it would be my first choice to reach for in terms of a serious everyday hoop shoe. I would, because of the thinness of the upper and the mesh and the way the lacing system. I might have some durability concerns for the prolonged rigor of basketball, but as a training shoe, it is very, very good at running. It has all of the things from that standpoint. It excels in that. I've worked out in them. Uh, other things some other training things. So in that area, it excels, and that's really where a lot of its attributes really shine. So in wrapping up, I would definitely say the Pregame XT is a training shoe that you could happen to occasionally play ball in. While it's an able performer, it's not horrible. I personally wouldn't recommend it perhaps as an everyday hoop shoe. There's some other alternatives out there, and particularly now you can definitely catch these below retail, as well as some other offerings from Jordan brand that will probably be better as a serious hoop shoe than the Pregame XT. Now, as a workout shoe, it's absolutely great. And in terms of the problems with the lacing, if you have wide feet, this will probably the fit will probably be better for you, of course, because of the abundance of the mesh and everything with that. If you have narrow feet, you do plan on playing in them, definitely make sure you do lace them up as tight as you can to avoid the smashing of the big toe issue that I had. So, in wrapping up the Pregame XT, great training shoe, mediocre hoop shoe. I would say keep it in the weight room and only take it in the gym if maybe you didn't have another shoe to play in. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to sign off on this review. I do want to thank everybody who's been watching the videos. It is so much appreciated. All my subscribers here. It's been over 100 videos, probably closing in on a year, maybe a little more. And again, I just want to thank everybody for watching and supporting. Also, something else, because I'm trying to take things to the next level. Just a regular Joe out here who loves sneakers and just trying to share my insight. So I do have a donate button, and that's going to be, of course, me to help, to get more shoes quicker. I don't have to necessarily wait because I'm doing a lot of this out of my own pocket, and while I will continue to do it regardless, any help would help in terms of me allowing me to do more shoes, because there's a lot of other shoes I would love to do, but just certain financial constraints rather. So, if they've been of benefit, and please feel free to do so. And not talking about a lot, I think, if I guess all of my subscribers, if we just donated 75 cents, that would more than allow me to get, the next two, or to help to that and push things forward. We've been looking at getting a website down the road. We would be able to have all these videos, do some interaction, some other things. So that's in the planning phase. So looking to take things to the next level. So, if you want to help, feel free to do so. But I will continue to do the videos. I've got some more coming, actually. I go ahead and say I know I've gotten a lot of requests about the Air Max Flyby. So that will be coming. A couple other things will be coming. So plenty of things on the horizon from Air Jordan 14. So as always, I really appreciate all the support. All of the comments, the likes, the subscriptions, everything. It's much appreciated. Just hope you continue to do so. And this is your man, Air Jordan 14, signing off. Wishing you happy kicks, much peace, much positivity, and I'm out.